Welcome back to Trending Update USA. This is your anchor Stefan, and I am here bringing you the biggest trending story exploding across tennis fans, social media feeds, stadium conversations, and late-night trending forums. Today's headline: Coco Gauff caught on camera, the clip everyone is talking about. And buckle up, because this story has layers, reactions, debate, admiration, defense, praise, criticism, and the real emotional pulse of a 20-year-old tennis superstar living her life under a global microscope. Fans are talking, critics are posting, former champions are weighing in, analysts are labeling it historic real-time drama, and casual sports viewers who have never even watched a full tennis match are suddenly invested. So let's dive in. It all started with a short clip, barely 12 seconds, that surfaced online late last night. The moment was so fast that if you blink you'd miss it, but the impact was so strong it shook the entire narrative cycle around modern tennis. Coco Gauff, the young American tennis phenomenon, the face of a new generation, winner of a Grand Slam title and a national sweetheart, was performing in a high-pressure match when the incident happened. But this isn't a doping scandal. This isn't a cheating accusation. This isn't a rules violation. This is raw, unscripted, unfiltered, real emotion captured by a camera that was not supposed to be the main focus in that moment. But in 2025, sports moments are no longer confined to broadcasts and result sheets. They live on camera sensors, live stream back angles, fan phone recordings, viral edits, slow motion replays, zoom-enhanced frames, AI-generated captions, meme-style commentary, reaction threads, remix soundtrack versions, TikTok voiceovers, Instagram tag storms, and millions of instantaneous emotional verdicts. The clip shows Coco reacting to a controversial line call. She hits a forehand winner down the line. Absolute laser precision, textbook form, effortless fluidity. The stadium erupts. The ball is clearly inside, or at least clearly inside to most eyes. But the chair umpire makes an out call. The crowd boos immediately. Coco stops. She doesn't scream. She doesn't curse. She doesn't smash a racket. She doesn't point dramatically at the ump like we've seen from other stars over the decades. Instead, she raises her finger, turns her head slightly toward the camera position near the baseline, and smiles, not out of humor, but disbelief. It's the kind of smile that athletes make when they know they're right but also know the decision is irreversible. The scoreboard doesn't care about justice. The crowd can't change the outcome, the match clock won't rewind, and professionalism must take precedence over outrage. But that tiny 12-second curl of emotion became a statement, a symbol. I don't need to yell for the world to know. You saw it. The camera saw it. History saw it. Within minutes the internet exploded. Fans pulled the clip and reposted across platforms. The slowdown versions followed. Captions were added. Close-ups focused on her lips reading, "You've got to be kidding." Non-controversial by tennis standards but dynamite by viral standards. And suddenly the world was dissecting not just the call but her reaction to the call. The online court of public opinion convened without invitation, gavels in imaginary hands. Some said the reaction was iconic. Others labeled it passive-aggressive. Coaches praised her restraint. Sports psychologists wrote essays in comment sections. Media personalities debated tone. Tennis historians compared it to McEnroe shouting at officials, but noted the generational difference. Gen Z protest isn't loud, it's digital, subtle, and self-aware. And Coco embodied that shift. But before we dig deeper, let's talk about the woman at the center of the story. Coco Gauff isn't just a tennis player. She is a cultural moment in athletic form. Born into a family of educators and athletes, she grew up in the United States and exploded onto the tennis scene as a fearless teenager who famously defeated her idols, stunned veterans, and inspired millions of young kids who suddenly saw possibility wearing braids and sneakers. She isn't known for controversy. She's known for grace. She isn't known for tantrums. She's known for composure. She isn't known for careless remarks. She's known for thoughtful messages addressing inequality, youth empowerment, pressure management, mental health, representation, and sportsmanship. She's the athlete parents show their kids when they want to say, compete fiercely, but carry yourself with dignity. That's her brand. And that's why the clip hit so differently. Because the world wasn't used to seeing her face crack with disbelief, even for 12 seconds. Not because it was wrong or dramatic, but because cameras don't often catch her slipping out of the persona people have assigned to her. The calm contender. Yet calm doesn't mean emotionless. Controlled doesn't mean robotic. Professional doesn't mean numb. Confident doesn't mean never stunned. And that clip reminded millions of viewers, even the most polished athletes still gasp internally. Many reactions referenced her 2023 US Open win. One user wrote, "She's a champ, not a statue." Another said, "This is why she's real, not rehearsed." One critic wrote, "Smiling at a bad call? That's calculative protest." But another user replied, "No, that's a generation that grew up being recorded. They communicate in glances now." And both arguments gained traction, because truthfully, Coco plays tennis in a world that records every bounce, grunt, comeback, mistake, handshake, celebration, sideline whisper, towel break, coaching note, and heartbeat. Players like her don't just compete against opponents, they compete against documented immortality. The umpire in the match later explained the call in an interview, saying the system misread the angle, not the ball placement. But by then, narrative gravity had already formed around Coco, not the ump. Fans didn't want an explanation, they wanted the moment, the meme, the evidence, the villain, the heroine, the emotional arc, the digital jury, the reaction galaxies. Not because the call was the worst in tennis history, but because it happened to the least dramatic protester in tennis, who protested anyway, with a smile and a camera glance. A new form of rebellion, quiet, indelible, screen-born. Former champion Naomi Osaka posted an emoji with eyes and a crown in response, which fans instantly interpreted as support. Analyst Patrick Mouratoglou called the clip a masterclass in emotional discipline. Madison defended her, saying young players handle controversy differently today. Tennis commentator Andy Roddick argued that the call was clearly wrong and that Coco's reaction would be studied for years in media sociology. Meanwhile, European fans compared the call indignation wave to how IGA Swiatek handles challenges, emphasizing respectful dispute methods. Russian fans chimed in comparing the media storm reach to what followed Sabalenka's outbursts at past events, but noted Coco chose the opposite energy. And suddenly this mini-moment became a sociological anchor point. And then came the breakdown. What exactly made it so viral? Was it anger? No. Was it injustice? Partly. Was it disbelief? Yes. But mostly, it was recognizable emotion that didn't embarrass its owner. It was a protest that did not violate professionalism. 2025 We fluently understand eye rolls, lip presses, camera glances, ironic smiles, eyebrow verdicts, subtle snorts, and pause step implications. Coco said 6 words in 12 silent seconds without speaking them audibly. That's the power of viral athlete semiotics. Next, fans debated whether the clip changed the match momentum. And yes, it did. Coco lost the next 3 points directly after the call. Some blamed the ump. Others blamed emotional disruption. Analysts blamed rhythm interruption. Coaches blamed human error. But in tennis, the break in continuity matters more than the intellectual cause. She recovered 2 games later, completely calm again, and ultimately won the set. But the cameras remembered the 12 seconds more than the 42-minute comeback. Because drama compresses better than discipline. Pause moments share easier than pressure mastery arcs. Trending stories crave sparks, not bonfires. This 12-second spark was enough. Another thread erupted. Is Coco targeted more because she's the youngest American hope? Some said yes. Others said every champion faces bad calls. Many pointed out that in big competitions like the WTA Finals in Riyadh 2025, high-tech officiating is expected to be perfect even though it sometimes isn't. Yet the cultural conversation steered to her identity, not to assign race or politics, but to analyze perception pressure attached to expectations of American stars versus international stars in women's tennis. The conversation remained sports-bound, media-bound, audience-bound, expectation-bound, but never directly identity-assertive, which is crucial for discourse ethics. Many fans compared her reaction to legendary personality clashes in tennis history. John McEnroe screamed into tennis folklore, a human headline machine. Serena Williams roared at injustice in unforgettable storms. Maria Sharapova used icy glare diplomacy. Billie Jean King challenged calls with measured authority. But Coco Gauff? She glances, smiles, lets the camera convict, and keeps playing. That generational contrast is what made the moment immortal, trending, memed, discussed, shipped, hyped, and replayed across digital conscience. Now here's the other angle, the one nobody expected. The clip also showed something else, something tiny but telling. When Coco turned back toward her box after smiling at the camera, her father Corey gave a small nod, not a head shake of frustration, not a shout, not a dramatic coaching signal, just a nod of, "I see it too. Keep going." That nod didn't go viral as fast, but tennis fans noticed it. Because her composure is never accidental. It was cultivated by family, coaching, mentorship, pressure exposure, emotional coaching, media training, self-awareness, adolescent spotlight experience, professionalism shaping, discipline drilling, resilience molding, generational literacy, psychological coaching, performance routines, pressure navigation, and internal cooling systems. She didn't learn to stay composed by chance. She rehearsed calm in a world that rehearses chaos. And let's not forget, Coco is Nike's Golden Youth contract face. Not in a commercial sense here, just in narrative reach. Her moments get distribution boosts because her recognition index is stratospheric. She doesn't need controversy to trend. But when she briefly tastes controversy, even silently, it spreads like wildfire down a canyon in midsummer. Another subplot, Amanda Anisimova fans flooded comment threads defending Coco, saying the media politicizes reactions for clicks. Frances Tiafoe fans joked it was the calmest protest in tennis. Alcaraz fans dropped fire emojis, saying she handled it better than most men players handle bathroom breaks. American sports shows used it as a segue into youth pressure debates. European analysts said it symbolizes U.S. tennis media priorities. Asian fans embraced the moment because it didn't insult tennis etiquette. And tennis etiquette won the day. She later addressed the clip indirectly in a press conference. She said, "Bad calls are part of tennis. Cameras are part of life now. I just want to stay in my rhythm." That was all. No outrage. No lecture. No blame. No dramatization. No direction. Just steady sentence tennis like her ground strokes, linear and balanced. What makes Coco stand out, even more than this viral moment, is that she plays tennis as if the algorithms are watching, but not controlling her. That's rare in modern sports culture. Many athletes perform for the timeline. She performs on the court, and when the timeline watches, it simply translates her into memes, not narratives of shame. And finally, we must talk about the cultural payload. Young athletes now protest injustice with self-awareness, not volume. Composure is the new roar. Silence is the new scream. Smiles can be facts. Cameras can be judges. 12 seconds can be anthems. And professionalism can trend louder than any tantrum ever could, if packaged correctly by the internet. Coco didn't rewrite tennis protest traditions, but she modernized them. And modern protest is recognizable by brevity, self-awareness, digital literacy, facial implication, silent communication, camera partnership, minimum disruption, and rhythm protection. That's Coco's style. And that's why it went nuclear trending. This moment now lives in fan edits, sports psychology threads, camera angle debates, question mark emojis, crown stickers, tennis sociology analysis, generational protest literacy, umpire tech discussions, match momentum breakdown loops, sideline nod anthropology, algorithmic distribution discourse, youth composure praise storms, subtle protest essay theses, Grand Slam reference callbacks, restrained legacy citations, disbelief smile iconography, digital semiotics Hall of Fame, quiet rebellion. Museums, broadcast versus viral value debates, tennis etiquette defense networks, and trending immortality cylinders. All because Coco Gauff glanced at a camera and smiled for 12 seconds after a bad line call. The world did the rest. That's the story, that's the breakdown, that's the cultural moment, and that's why Coco is trending not for losing control, but for keeping it. This is Trending Update USA. I am Stefan. Stay tuned for more updates.